And when it comes to this science shit, I go to my Hotep scientist, the official, my melanated scientist. When this shit went down, I was like, I'm talking to Project Rook, I'm talking to Jehudi, and I'm talking to PhD, the Tanei, the science guy, chemist, organic chemist, Tanei Ricks. These are the people I go to for my science information. I ain't waiting for who and all this shit. I'm going to Tanei Ricks. So I want to lead off like this, Tanei. Why did you hit me? Why did you hit my phone and say you wanted to talk about this tonight?
Because I want my clout, son. Because I've been talking about this shit since fucking March. I want my fucking clout. Because when I first
you getting your grift on.
I'm trying to get my grifty, son. Let's go. look, man. When this shit first broke and everybody being crazy on the timeline, oh shit, we in a pandemic, everybody gonna die, and I'm like, okay, this is something we ain't never seen before. Okay,
let me cut you off real fast.
Okay,
there's certain words we're not allowed to use on this show.
Okay,
it's stupid 19. And it's you can use SARS remix. I know that's your word, SARS remix.
Okay.
You're not about to get my channel banned with your rhetoric. and it's vagine. We don't use the other V word, it's vagine. So I just want to put and don't say nothing else that's patent and copyrighted. Continue, my bad.
Got you. Okay.
I just want to get your censorship rules.
I appreciate that. All right. So when the SARS remix was popping off, so let me tell you why I called it SARS remix to begin with. So everybody knows that there was an original SARS outbreak in China. I think it was 2000. It was in the early 2000s. And the virus that's out now is basically a molecular cousin of the original SARS virus. So a lot of times when you're trying to figure out something about an emerging disease, you want to look in the literature or you want to look for things that have already been established. Well, we already had a pretty good baseline of coronaviruses in general because of the original SARS outbreak. So when it first broke, I saw, I was looking at different information. So I'm like, okay, this is basically like the original SARS virus. So a lot of the things should be the same. And a lot of the things have been the same as far as secondary side effects and things like that. The difference with the original SARS virus and this SARS virus is that this one is a lot more virulent, which means that when it gets into your body, it's easier for it to replicate versus the original SARS virus. The thing about the original SARS virus, though, is that the original SARS virus death rate was actually higher than the death rate that is for the current SARS virus. So when everything first started kind of coming out, I started going back into the literature and looking at the old stuff that was going on. So one of the things that kind of got me at first, because I've done the technique before, is that they're using PCR. And I'm like, y'all shouldn't be using PCR for a pandemic like this because it's not going to give you accurate results. You're going to get false positives, especially if there's certain things about the experiment that are not regulated. I say this on Twitter at first, and see, I wasn't even going to say anything about it. Rook was the one that originally said something. I was like, all right, well, she done said it, so I might as well go ahead and back it up. Because you know how it is on Twitter when people that don't have credentials start telling the truth, then everybody's like, oh, well, you didn't go to school for this. And so I'm like, okay. It don't really matter if the person went to school for it or not. If the shit is true, it's true. It don't matter where it's coming from. So I'm like, okay, I already know they finna attack Rook and they finna go on, how Twitter is, jokes over facts always. So I'm like, all right, let me come in and let me try to clean the situation up for her. So I came in and I said, hey, you can't isolate this virus with the standard testing that they're using. They cannot reach into your body and pull a whole virus out and show you what it is. They can't do it. And at the time that I said it, they couldn't do it. At this point, they have cultured the virus at least twice in 2 different media. But the thing about the viruses is different from, say, a fungal infection or bacterial infection, is that you can reach into somebody, swab them, and then just put it in the media and it'll grow on its own. Viruses have to have other cells to replicate. So you have to have a specific cell line in there for the virus to replicate. If you don't have that cell line, it's not going to do anything. So at that point, you can't tell whether or not this person's actually infected. So the inventor of the PCR technique, Carrie Mullis, which Carrie Mullis died, I want to say like 2 or 3 months mysteriously before this whole joint popped off, right?
Uh-oh, here we go.
And there are whole, and now if you go Google Carrie Mullis and you go look at all the stuff that he was talking about, early 90s, even when like HIV was on the scene, right? Because they still use PCR testing for HIV. Well, they were using PCR testing for HIV back then. So he was going on, he was telling people like, this is not the correct technique to be using to tell whether or not somebody has a virus. So when I looked and saw that there was going to be 2 different testing standards, but the rapid testing standard was going to be real-time PCR, I was like, y'all finna get a bunch of false positives, and this is finna justify them saying whatever they want to keep people in the house. So I want to read y'all some stuff. Now, this is not me saying this, because I don't want nobody to sit here and say, oh, Tanei's just making this up, or this just came out of nowhere. No, I'm finna grab both of these from 2 different websites, from 2 different, well, one of them was a peer-reviewed publication, and one of them is from the University of Wisconsin on how real-time PCR works and cycle threshold specifically, because the thing that you retweeted earlier today was a WHO advisory about changing the cycle threshold or monitoring the cycle threshold. I'm going to explain to you why it's important. So what does CT mean? In a real-time PCR assay, a positive reaction is detected by accumulation of a fluorescent signal. So essentially what happens is they send out these primers. These primers look for a specific RNA DNA sequence, and they amplify it. So basically they try to find that one small piece, and once it finds that one small piece, the machine replicates it. And so the theory is that the more viral material there is around, the lower the cycle threshold has to be for you to detect it. Okay, so that's where the fluorescent signal comes in. Now, the CT cycle threshold is defined as the number of cycles required for the fluorescent signal to cross the threshold, i.e. background levels, because when you do experiments like this, you have background noise. So however many cycles it takes for that fluorescent signal to go above the baseline that's supposed to guide you on whether or not it's positive or negative. CT levels are inversely proportional to the amount of target nucleic acid in the sample. So that means the lower the CT level is, the more viral material, viral nucleic acid should be in the sample, right? Now, here's where the trick bag comes in. So for CTs that are less than or equal to 29, these are strong positive reactions indicative of abundant target nucleic acid in the sample. All right. So anything that's below 30, they want to say that it's a strong positive. All right. Now, here's a gray area. CTs of 30 to 37 are positive reactions indicative of moderate amounts of target nucleic acid. All right. Now, here's the last one. CTs of 38 to 40 are weak reactions indicative of minimal amounts of target nucleic acid, which could represent an infection state or environmental contamination. Now, I want to read this passage from this paper. It is, I'll give you the name of it. I'll give you the authors. So this paper was published in May of last year in the Journal of Clinical Infectious Diseases. The title of it is "To Interpret the SARS-CoV-2 Test, Consider the Cycle Threshold Value." I'm reading 2 paragraphs out of this.
Okay.
So the SARS-CoV-2 RT-qPCR test provides real-time quantification by first reverse transcribing SARS-CoV-2 RNA into DNA and then performing qPCR, during which a fluorescent signal increases proportionally to the amount of amplified nucleic acid. We just talked about that. This enables accurate quantitation of the RNA in the sample. If the fluorescence reaches a specific threshold within a certain number of PCR cycles, this is the cycle threshold value, the sample is considered a positive result. the CT value is inversely related to the viral load, and every around 3.3 increase in the CT value reflects a 10-fold reduction in starting material. Last sentence. Many qPCR assays involve a CT cutoff of 40 to consider the test positive, allowing detection of very few starting RNA molecules. Now, what did I just tell y'all about? Now, this is from the University of Wisconsin. CTs of 38 to 40 are weak reactions indicative of minimal amounts of target nucleic acid, which could represent an infection state or environmental contamination. So they are running these cycle thresholds at a value that is known to give you a false positive. I'm gonna read you the last paragraph. The last paragraph I'm gonna read out of this paper.
All right, read it. Let's hear it.
A positive RT qPCR result may not necessarily mean the person is still infectious or that he or she still has any meaningful disease. First, the RNA could be from non-viable or killed virus. Live virus is often isolable only during the first week of symptoms, but not after day 8. Even with a positive RT qPCR test. Second, there may need to be a minimum amount of viable virus for onward transmission. For infection control purposes, the utility of the assay is greatest when identifying people who are floridly positive and at risk for further transmission, particularly when testing in the absence of symptoms for COVID-19. We believe that reporting the CT value or range could help to better inform clinical decisions. They're sitting here telling you the test should not be used by itself. Not even that. They're sitting here telling you that they're running the cycle threshold value to a point where even if you have weak virus or you have dead virus inside of your body, they're counting it as a positive result.
All right, so Tanei, I don't know what the fuck you just said. That shit went that shit went way over my head, and some niggas in the chat like, can you translate that into Sean for me?
I will translate this for you. So basically, they take this machine, so they dig this swab into your nose.
All right.
They put that material on the machine. The machine amplifies whatever is in there, but they're looking specifically for presence of the RNA that the virus produces.
Okay.
What they've been doing with this test is they haven't been checking the cycle threshold. They've been running it straight at 40. And if you run it at 40, that gives you a high likelihood of having a false positive. So they're running all. And so the thing is, you can have somebody that might have tested positive at 20 or 29.
Yeah.
And they would definitely be positive. But everything beyond 29, you might not be positive. That's why I say it's a moderate result for anything between 30 and 38, and it's a weak result for anything for 39 and 40. And they've been running it at 40. So you got a bunch of tests in there because you're not checking the cycle threshold. You got a bunch of tests in there that are testing positive when they really should be testing negative. Not even that. You shouldn't be using the test by itself. You're supposed to be using the test plus looking for symptoms. So if you're just using the test and you're running the cycle threshold at 40, you're going to have a high number of false positives. And they said this back in May. The paper was accepted in May. It was revised. Let me make sure I got my stuff right. So it was published in May of 2020 last year. And it came out. So it was available online May 2020 last year. And it actually came out in the journal October 15th of last year. So they've been saying since May, like the other scientists have been saying in the literature since May, at very minimum, that y'all need to start checking the cycle threshold. And they just now started checking the cycle threshold, who just brought this advisory out in December. But not even that. We've been talking about this since March. Yeah. When we found out that RT-PCR was what they were using, we were like, y'all shouldn't be using RT-PCR because RT-PCR, they say it's supposed to be quantitative because it's supposed to tell you in real time how much virus is supposed to be in your body according to the cycle threshold. But as you can see, if you don't calibrate the cycle threshold or you don't pay attention to how many cycles you're running, you can run it up in such a way that you get a false positive. Now, all of a sudden, that Trump ain't in office no more. Now we get an advisory about, oh, y'all should check the cycle threshold. Y'all should make sure that that's right. Because if you run it at 40, you might get a bunch of false positives. They've been telling people since May. We've been telling them since March. But see, when I said this, everybody's like, "Oh, you stupid! You know what you're talking about." Okay, bet that's cool. And now y'all been in the house for a whole entire year behind faulty testing that they told y'all about in May. Okay, bet.
And see, I be telling motherfuckers, I be like, I got my own nigga doctors. I don't gotta wait for the white man to tell me shit. I pick up the phone and I call my 3 nigga doctors and I be like, yo, what the fuck going on? Yo, what the white man doing now? And Tanei tell me, Rook tell me, Jehudi tell me, and these the people I trust. I ain't got to wait for the white man to tell me shit. It be the Sean that wait for the white man to tell him some shit. Meanwhile, he got a black man sitting right here, but the black man got dreads. The black man don't know what he's talking about because he black and he got dreads. But if Tanei Ricks was a white man, disassociated with Trump, they might have listened to him. This the shit I be talking about with the Sean. This is the system of white supremacy where the Sean don't listen to nobody. He see a black face, he go, that nigga don't know what he talking about because that nigga black. That's the system of white supremacy.
That's facts, though.
Hey man, the game is the game, and the game is meant for the people that's gonna get it. And all I can say is that we try to tell you what's y'all phrase. Hotep's been told you. Well, we've been told you that. We've been told you that this was a op, man. Like we've been told y'all what it was, and even then, y'all should have known it was an op from the jump because what did they always talk about? Oh, we got X amount of cases today. Oh, we got Georgia got the most cases, or oh, this place got the most cases, and now you find out the damn test been running so high that that I ain't gonna say the majority. I ain't gonna say that, but there's a high number of these tests that were false positives. So how many people got trapped inside the house because some stupid ass lab tech didn't know to check the cycle threshold on these experiments? And now people been stuck inside, economy decimated. You ain't got no job, ain't got a way to get no money. But
small business shut down.
Small businesses shut down. What is it, like 46% of black businesses had to shut down during COVID, and the number is still rising? Okay, but I gotta stay inside and wear a mask because of a test that y'all can't even say 100% for sure is accurate because y'all didn't calibrate it right. Excuse me. I don't even know if y'all didn't calibrate it right. Y'all might have did that on purpose. How I know you didn't run 40 cycles on purpose because so this paper was printed in May 2020. This advisory from, if I can find the date on this, hold up. This advisory from the University of Wisconsin. Where is it?
Find the date. Find the date for these Seans. This is why y'all come to Hoteps been told you. This is why y'all come here. You know what I'm saying? We got in-house doctors. We ain't got to wait for Dr. Fausti or Mr. Gates or nobody else to tell us shit. I pick up the phone. I say, hey, Tanei, what the fuck going on, yo? Explain this shit to me. He say some shit. He be talking all these numbers and science shit. I be like, I don't know the fuck you just said. Explain this shit to me and Sean. And he break it down to me and Sean. Then I come on the goddamn Hoteps been told you episode. I explain to y'all. The niggas tell me I'm crazy. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Now the WHO gonna drop the goddamn story today. A day after the inauguration, after they inaugurate the white supremacists, and now they gonna admit the goddamn test some bullshit. You found a date tonight?
The date, it won't show me the date because it's a PDF upload. But this is not recent.
Download the PDF upload. Right click on the PDF upload. Are you on Mac or PC?
On PC.
You're on PC. Right click it. hit get info. Under get info, actually it says get info on Mac, but it should say something. You see it? It should tell you when the file was created. See, I'm a computer geek. You know what I'm saying? I do the science shit. I do the computer shit.
All right, let's see. Let's see where we at.
Downloaded the file. Right click on the file. Let me see what it say, huh? Because I got a PC I'm on right now. On the file,
you should go to properties, I think.
Is it properties? Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yes, under properties. Thank you. It'll tell you created and modified.
All right. All right, here we go. Properties.
What does it say under created?
See, now it's saying, so it's giving me the time that I accessed it. Hold up. Let me see. Access created. It's giving me the time that I did it. Let me look at something else. It's only giving me the time that I did it.
It should say created, modified, and accessed. It doesn't say created there?
Well, it might not show that since he downloaded it. You know what I mean? It might not show the original from the server he got it from. You know what I mean?
Send it to me. I'll pull it up later on my Mac. It should pop up on my Mac. Send it to me.
I'm finna DM it to you.
Yeah.
Hey, tonight, a quick question. So since these are since the stupid 19 did some of these tests is, obviously, you say you got false positives or something like that. So would this explain why some people they get it and then they're like nothing happened to them? They're like, oh, I was bad cough or something like that, and they just shrug it off. Does that explain why the big differences in between some people that have the stupid 19 and they're just hurt for weeks, and some people that just get it and they said I was bad for a couple of days or an hour and that's it?
Yeah, I do believe that that's part of the reason why there's so many people that are asymptomatic that are testing positive for it. Because if you think about it, you shouldn't be asymptomatic that long. And there are a lot of people that got the virus that tested positive for it that had zero symptoms the whole entire time that they had it. And so it's like, okay, well, that's not suspicious to y'all that this virus is so bad we had to shut down the economy for it. All these people dying, these people coughing and sneezing and shit in the airport and falling out all over each other. But somebody that had this virus for 10 days, they asymptomatic, y'all said, and they ain't had no symptoms the whole entire time. The whole entire time they supposed to be sick, no symptoms. Really? That don't make no sense.
So
that makes sense to y'all.
So all these athletes popping up with positives and whatnot have to be called into question.
Exactly, and it's just the thing, and this is the thing that also set off red flags in my head, like alarm bells. It's bro, how are people catching the virus one time? All right, you test positive for it one time, you have all the symptoms, the whole 9 yards. Motherfuckers come back 2 months later and catch it again. How the hell you catching this virus again? And the whole premise behind y'all having these vaccines is to build up an immunity to it, but your body can't build up a natural immunity to it. That makes sense to y'all?
Wow.
But then they got everybody rushing to take this vaccine that is not approved for FDA. That's one thing I want to make clear. This virus, this treatment that they have for SARS remix is not approved by the federal government. It is authorized for emergency use. That is two different things. That is two different numbers of testing standards. That is not the same thing. Authorized for emergency use and government alphabet company approved, two different things. And we are in the emergency part of it, which means that everybody that's taking the vaccines right now is a part of the vaccine testing trial.
Using that word again. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that word is.
I don't know what that is either. What you said was machine.
I don't know what it is. I don't know this YouTube. I don't know this nigga. YouTube, I do not know this nigga.
Oh my god.
So the alphabet, I'm gonna just say alphabet boys and whatever they got planned. The alphabet boys and all they little, they little testing experiments and stuff. It's not approved by them. It's authorized for emergency use. That's two different things, man. Yeah. So everybody is a part of the testing trial right now, and y'all gonna see the data once they actually get everything approved. That they're gonna count all these people that took the initial round of whatever they got in them syringes, because you don't even know if it's what they say it is. Because how many times y'all have seen somebody get on TV and somebody fake like something coming through a tube and it ain't actually nothing there. So
is the vaccine going to be effective?
All right, so let's talk about that. So I wrote a thread about this on Twitter. It's out there somewhere. So basically with the mRNA treatment, what they're doing is they've taken the piece of the virus that encodes for the spike glycoprotein. So the spike glycoprotein is what actually makes the virus as virulent as it is. And I'll actually talk about why. Oh. So basically what's happening is they give you this mRNA code. It goes into your body. Yeah. Your body reads it. And when it reads it, it expresses the protein on the outside of your cells. So your body recognizes it as foreign. And when that happens, you create antibodies and it eventually clears the infection. It's a mock infection. So the thing about mRNA is that mRNA by itself in your body is degraded really quickly. So as soon as you get the injection, your body's already starting to like chop it up. So once it gets to the place that it needs to go to actually write the protein, it then gets degraded further so that it's not just constantly being expressed in your system. But this is also the reason why you have to have a booster shot. So I think the Moderna treatment requires 2 shots, and it has to have 2 shots because your body actually might degrade the RNA too fast for you to actually get immunity to it. So you have to have the second shot to come around to make sure that your body has created the antibodies. But this is the problem. If your immune system is trash anyway, you still might not be inoculated from the SARS remix. You might still get sick because you don't know if your body's actually built up the immunity to it. And the thing that blows me about all of this is that they keep telling people to stay inside or wear a mask and then get the vaccine, but the vaccine got to go through your immune system anyway. So why they ain't been telling people to do stuff to boost their immune system? Why they ain't been telling people, hey, in order for this treatment to work, you got to make sure you got to make sure your immune system's on point anyway. So go outside, get sunlight, blah, 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 all the other stuff we've been talking about. So why they ain't been telling people that? If the real end goal is to make sure that everybody is safe and make sure that everybody is properly inoculated, these treatments don't work if your immune system don't work, especially for the mRNA vaccine. Or I keep saying that word.
There you go again. There you go again. There you go.
This
YouTube. I don't know this nigga YouTube.
They don't work. The treatments don't work if your immune system's not working. And they even tell you that for conventional treatments like this. Anytime you go get shots or anything like that, they tell you at the doctor, whenever you have this series of treatments, if your immune, they have to wait a certain time, because if your immune system is not good, then you might get sick or you might die from it. That's one of the complications from some of these treatments that are on the market. So they should have been telling people that from the jump. But I mean, of course, we already know what the agenda is. So that's where we are.
Tanei, thank you very much for coming on today. I'm gonna let you go before you get my channel removed.
Appreciate y'all having me. It's good talking to y'all.
Yo, make sure y'all follow Tanei Ricks. Yo, Tanei, go ahead, get out of here, y'all. Thank you, yo. You the fucking man, bro. You the fucking man. All right, we gonna catch up.